tea time on true crime. Mugs up, pull that seat right out. You need to tune in, lean in close. We're about to sort this out. So much ish to puzzle through. Whispers, rumors, tangled doubt. Come with me, we'll walk it back till every truth steps out. Crimes and lies and alibis. Spill the story, sip that hit. Come have tea with me tonight. We'll find the cracks in every print. Crimes and lies and alibis. Pour it slow, let's chase that scent. Come have tea with me, alright. You get a hint, you get a hint, oh yeah. You get a hint. Oh yeah. Timeline scribbled on a napkin. Name circling like steam. Motive hiding in the margins. Right between the scenes. Every side has got a secret. Every secret leaves a trace. Stay a while, we'll piece it together. Case by case by case. Crimes and lies and alibis. Spill the story, sip that hit. Come have tea with me tonight. We'll find the cracks in every print. Crimes and lies and alibis. Pour slow, let's chase that scent. Come have tea with me, alright. You get a hint, you get a hint.
Hello. I've missed you all. Happy Friday, May the 15th, 6:40 p.m. Nova Scotia time. Oh, I don't expect many of you here tonight because I'm sure you all have a freaking headache from all the other shenanigans going on. Has everyone been paying attention? Oh Lord, it's been crazy town out there today. Damien, I can make this account a mod too if you want. Someone just sent me a Facebook message. One moment, please. I don't know, Nurse Mel. Yeah, I changed my hair. It's the lighting. I'm going to go with the lighting. I'm going to say hello to everyone. Yeah, you don't want the responsibility. I don't blame you. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Sorry I'm late as usual. I had to get one of my daughters off to a basketball game. Julie Artfully Open was the first in chat. Artie Man, hello, welcome in. Hope you're doing all right. Shy, Nurse 2112, Tambourine 36, Ginger's Mom, thank you for being here and modding. I feel like you're going to be pressing some buttons today. And Hemi, I deleted one of your comments by accident. I meant to highlight it and then I deleted it. That's just how my day's going, so I apologize. Ariel Sasha, yeah, there has been. Mildred, hello. Starchild, Rena Gale, hope you're doing well. Good talking to you via email. 007 Starchild. Well, I'm glad you've been waiting for me. I feel like it's been a while, and I have taken my foot off the gas a bit because priorities. I've been trying to use my time more effectively. And yeah, I got a lot going on. Miss TP333, hello. Damien, I already said hello. Mr. Hemi is stuck in Toronto long weekend traffic. That is my worst nightmare. The Don Valley Parkway. Nastiness. Is there any news on Junkyard Janie? She's quiet. Oh, no, she's not, Ricky. She was rather loud earlier on today. I had the misfortune of listening to her and Anita go at it. Not in the Scissor Sister way, in the way. Speaking of Scissor Sisters, Cheryl, I hope you're watching. Oh, Chris M, hello. Start the car. Yeah, right. Um, Holly Jolly, good to see you. Wendy Cardinal, Tammy, Deborah Dixon, Nurse Mehall, Nurse Melhall, Nurse Mehall too. Spare time. Yeah, yeah, she's trying to catch her breath. No doubt. No doubt. Donna, hello. Your ears are ringing? Yeah. Yeah, mine too. Love to hate is still love. Yeah. Lori, Nova Scotia, good to see you. Pam, Cheryl. Uh, oh, Lord. All right. Just a clap and seal. Hello. Okay, welcome in, everyone. So, I don't even know where to begin, to be honest. So there's other lives going on. So, like I said, I wasn't surprised. I'm not surprised to not have too many people in here, although there's still a good amount. Lurking lizards, no doubt. We've got Ken Tiff, who's on with another channel and going over his theories. And we had Janie and Anita at war with each other on Mike D's earlier. I listened to about 5 minutes of it after Ginger's mom kindly mentioned that they were going live. And I think I figured out what Anita's purpose is. She is a rage baiter. She is going to rage bait everyone in this case to the point that they threaten to kill her. That's what I think anyway. That's my opinion. Sticking to it. So yeah, my brain went mush in about 5 minutes. It was like going back to 1994 and watching Jerry Springer, but on YouTube, and only worse. And there was no chairs throwing that I could see, but nay, nay indeed, nay indeed. So we've had a few things going on. Obviously, we've had Daniel do his epic 9 or 8 hour live with Sunny, following his multiple night re-debut on Others. And I watched it on Justin's Clutch Them Pearls to get, to break it up a little bit, because he does a good job at analyzing things. There was some particularly great moments, which I'll play for you later. You had 5 hours to sleep by the time it was over, Cheryl? Yeah, I started playing it, went to sleep, and woke up, and it was still going. Lord. I don't know too many people that stay up till 3:30 in the morning these days, but I guess he had a lot to get off his chest. So many stories and so little time. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, so I think I'll talk about this first, is Darren and Daniel and the stories that they are discussing. So from my last live, you'll know that Darren's been pushing a few different narratives regarding Jack and Lily's disappearance. So I think we're on day 379 of their disappearance, with no verifiable sightings of the children. Now, I know our CMP will tell little porky pies in order to maintain the integrity of a case. It is difficult to tell which ones are lies and which ones are truth, kind of like Daniel. It's hard to tell what's the truth and what's a lie because there's elements of truth and lies in both. But here's my question. We have a real problem with the timeline. It's a very touchy subject for everyone in the case, particularly Thursday night into Friday morning. It was definitely a touchy subject for Janie today. It wasn't really elaborated on too much with Daniel, other than some massive inconsistencies based on his previous stories. And well, we know Malea's not saying a whole lot. So I did have the opportunity to talk to her about a few different things because I know people had some real concerns about certain things and certain timings. So a couple of the things I wanted to straighten out. Welcome in everyone who's just coming in. There was mention, I believe, possibly by Wade originally. I think that's where the information came out, possibly, that Malaya had made an 11 p.m. phone call to Cindy. That has not been proven, and according to Malaya, is not true. There was, however, an 11 p.m. Snapchat sent from Daniel to Malaya that was unopened because she was asleep. Daniel clearly was not asleep at 11 p.m. It would be very interesting to know what was on that Snapchat. So another question that people had was about the 8:28 phone call from Malaya's phone to her mother. Now, she is adamant that she did not make that phone call, that she was asleep. So there's only a couple of reasons, and that Lilly or Jack would not have had her phone. It was in the bedroom with them. So there was one person who did say they weren't in a deep sleep by any means. And he was the only other person in that room. I'll let you guys do some deductive reasoning. So one of the inconsistencies I caught on to with Daniel was the fact that he said that Meadow was asleep on his arm. He also said that Meadow was in between both of them, and I've also heard that he was facing the doorway away from Meadow. He also said in the beginning that Malaya couldn't have possibly done anything with the children that morning and got out of bed because Meadow was asleep on her arm. So there's a lot of interesting things. They can't all be true at the same time. Then we have Darren. Darren says that he didn't know that the children were missing until nearly 2 weeks later when he heard it from a guy in Tim Hortons. And he thought that the children were some kids from Glengarry Station, and some guy named Daniel had killed and buried his kids in the woods. Now, I have it on pretty good authority that Daniel and Darren were actually spotted talking together somewhere along the 289 on May the 3rd. Along with some others. So I do wonder, do you think Daniel might have told him that the children were missing then? Or do you think that when he posted on Twitter, now known as X, on May the 2nd, oh, I froze. Oh, that's the RCMP. They don't want me to talk about it, I guess. Maybe I should take that as a sign. I mean, look what happened to Derwood when he was talking about things he couldn't talk about. He got kicked right off Twitter, and then there was a special operation in his backyard. So I'll repeat that. And if it freezes again, you know it's not me. So Daniel and Darren were spotted on the 289 on May the 3rd with two other young men on the side of the road having a chat. So do you think that it wouldn't have been brought up to Darren on May the 3rd while they were having their chat on the side of the 289 that the children were missing? What were they doing at the side of the road on the 289? And who were the other two young men? Something tells me that the RCMP know about this and are investigating other avenues. It would kind of make sense that Darren would be pushing all sorts of different stories, like they're in Boston, they're on a reserve somewhere, they are taken by Malaya's family. Malaya's family won't even speak to Darren. I've asked twice because I'm a nosy bitch. And I thought to myself, well, maybe Darren has something to say. But here's what I think. I think Darren is scrambling, especially after the recent arrest in his family and the special operation in his backyard. And the heat is on. The heat is on. It does make you wonder why someone who thinks that the children are alive and being held on a reserve or in Boston would be at a vigil. He's been so vocal online, and no one criticized him for not going up and speaking, did they? No one criticized him for not going up and having a word for his family members. He had so much to say online. I don't know why I'm freezing, Deborah. I have no idea. I've got nothing running in the background. I will check. Yeah. Is anyone else seeing me freeze, or is it just Deborah? Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's just yours, Deborah. Okay. Everyone has known my feelings about Darren. I've had very strong feelings about him since I first heard him come out and say that Malaya was at the end of the driveway at 6:10 a.m. So you can actually blame yourself, Darren, for getting my nosy nose involved. And it's not syphilis. It's a suntan. So I do question what he was doing at the vigil. I suspect it was gathering information, seeing who was there, and another opportunity to push his stories. It's rosacea. Mm. So Darren never mentioned this clandestine meeting on the 289, Cool J 17. The 289 is Gairloch Road. It is the highway that runs from the 102 up to New Glasgow. I'm not sure if it goes any further, but as it goes through various towns, it takes on different names, such as Gairloch Road. So he was spotted May the 3rd with Daniel and two others, but he has been so adamant that he did not know about these children missing for several weeks, and that he didn't know Daniel, that he didn't know Janie. But here's the thing. Earl and Darren used to do business together. So what are the odds that he knew Janie? Seems to me that there's a whole lot of stories going on, and that some people forget that Pictou County people have long memory spans. Mm. I wonder why his own brother had to leave Darren's place in the middle of the night, because the heat was on. And I don't mean the radiators. People were coming a looking. I wonder who those people were. So let's get back to Daniel. Daniel was asked a really great question by the other creator. His girlfriend is Logan's grandma. He knows the Mackenzies. Oh, damn right he does. He's like Logan's grandpa. Grandpa Derwood. He's like Santa Claus, only uglier. Right. So I'm going to bring up a slight little portion of Justin's Clutch Them Pearls and his little coverage of Daniel Martel's interview. And I want to see if you picked up what Justin picked up and what I picked up. Let's look at his interesting answer to a very specific question that was asked of him originally on the Sunday the children disappeared. You heard he was married to Kent's sister? No. No. but he's been around. All right, history. Part 4, 100, 1 hour and let's go here.
£40, and he has like quite a big bark for his size of dog. You wouldn't expect.
I just don't recall, but did all on me?
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Is raking half the earth behind her house when there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches of compressed dirt piled up there as well. And it's interesting how there's a footprint planted there as well. Again, I don't think the dog did it by any means, but that's exactly right. Nurse, exactly. Abso-freaking-lutely. Thank you so much, Tina. I don't know if you heard me earlier with that when my internet cut out. Thank you so very much, my dear. What was the 2 times Daniel told the truth? I was curious about that. She only had the dog. Then he says 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
This, like, it leaves the mind to fall into traps, and in this case, a lot of people have fallen for traps or misconceptions on situations or actions that were done during the search and during the case.
One of the things, Daniel, that I want to go back to, because I think I read you it, but I don't know that you actually answered it.
Yep.
And it's only because I saw the comment again, but then I'm thinking, did actually Daniel answer this? But it was the question about Lindsay, remember the reporter,
yep.
about you, that you said that she was going to blame this all on me.
Yeah.
Did you ever say, like, I just don't recall, but did you ever say what you meant by that? Like, why would, like, did you actually believe that you said those words?
I believe that
I hope I'm not freezing here. I would really like you to pay very close attention to what his answer is. So the question was, Lindsay Jones from the Globe and Mail asked you, or you said to Lindsay Jones from the Globe and Mail, that Malaya was going to try to blame all of this on you so that she didn't get in trouble. That was what Sonny asked him. Now listen to the response and tell me what you think of his response. Pay close attention to the stutter, stutter, stutter at the beginning.
in person, I mean, I believe that, they may not be saying that to major crimes, because I don't get that perspective from them. But I still think this day, I believe that.
Why? I just don't recall, but did all on me?
Yeah.
Did you ever say, like, I just don't recall, but it's all on me? Daniel answered this, but it was the question about Lindsay, remember the reporter, about you, that you said that she was.
This was my question. I asked in the chat, and Charmaine kindly sent this to Sonny, and the question was, Daniel, why did you Daniel, say to the interviewer that Malaya was going to blame everything on you right after she left. Okay? Why? Let me, and again, yeah. And again, he did not answer the question. He did not answer the question. And this is why the mother will not interview with me.
Blame this all on me.
Yeah.
Did you ever say, like, I just don't recall, but did you ever say what you meant?
This is the second time she asked him.
Why would, like,
and I'm going to show you
did
something.
you actually believe that you said those words?
I believe that in person, I believe that, they may not be saying that to major crimes because I don't get that perspective from them. But I still think to this day that Malaya, Cheryl, and Cindy and them, they're telling shenanigans that I'm involved. And that's why,
okay.
That's why Shenanigans talks the way she does. And that's the way.
Okay. The question was, Daniel, did you say?
God bless Justin and his excellent review of questions. Okay, so the question was, why did you tell Lindsay Jones that Malaya was going to blame you for everything so that she didn't get in trouble? And your answer is that Cheryl and Malaya and Cindy are telling Shenanigans that he's responsible. You know what's funny? Rent-free. Rent-free, Daniel. Is that what you're worried about? You're worried what they're telling me? What I know about you? Mm-hmm. I bet you wish that you knew what I knew. I bet you there's a lot of people out there that wish they knew what I knew. Feeling a little hot under the collar, Daniel? Let's carry on. Let's see how he somehow brings me into the conversation as to how his discussion went with Lindsay Jones on May the 4th, 2025, when I had never even met any of these people at that time. We continue. Hello, welcome in, everyone.
You were that Malaya was going to blame everything on you. Not anything to do with Shenanigans. Shenanigans was not even in this at the time. So why are you talking about Shenanigans? The only Shenanigans you're talking about is the Shenanigans you're about everything. Shenanigans about everything. It's your Shenanigans, not the channel. Just Shenanigans. Listen, I just kind of
that get that person. I believe that they may not be saying that to major crimes because I don't get that perspective from them.
And again,
but I still think to this day that Malaya, Cheryl, and Cindy and them, they're telling shenanigans that I'm involved. And that's why,
okay.
That's why Shenanigans.
Again, it's what you told the reporter. What you told the fucking reporter, Daniel. And again, he's talking about major crimes and a YouTuber. Yes. To you, Mr. Martell. Mr. Martell, Mr. Martell. Do I still have that?
And it
to
was
Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot, to Mr. Proudfoot.
Mr. Prophet, what happened?
Daniel, if you come up here, you're going to see Justin Grace is what you're going to see, ma'am. Okay, that's what you're going to see. To you, Mr. Martell, to Mr. Martell, to Mr. Martell.
Talks the way she does, and that's the way, you know, she blames me for it. That would be the only, because if Malay and Cheryl and all them said that we don't think Daniel has anything to do with it, she wouldn't be riding that train of Daniel's guilty, right? That, you know, that makes sense.
So again, for me personally, I have not watched any of Shenanigans lives at all.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue what she has been saying. I heard about some sort of sleepover, you know, whatever the up with that.
I think that's where the
and respectfully, I say this, but like, they let him get away with this. And they probably let him get away with this because he'll leave. But again, he didn't even begin to answer the question. He didn't even begin to answer it. He said nothing about himself. The question was, did you say Malaya was going to blame this all on me? Well, he did, folks. He did. I wish I had the podcast because it's
the podcast in which this was broadcast on was called The Decibel, and it was by the Globe and Mail, and it featured Greg Mercer and Lindsay Jones, and it was also featured in the first Globe and Mail article written by Lindsay Jones, in which she did an interview with Daniel on the 4th. He admitted to doing drugs in that podcast. That's right. I don't know why it is. I think it's because I'm playing YouTube in the background, so I'm not sure. I don't know what is going on with my internet. The gods don't want me talking today.
On a podcast of the actual reporter saying it. The reporter also describes her first recording that they can prove it. Okay? Quote, this is Daniel being quoted. Daniel Martell, the stepfather of Jack and Lilly Sullivan. Quote, Daniel says, she's going to try to blame everything on me, but she doesn't, so she doesn't get in trouble, end quote, he said. The reporter replies, quote, what would be to blame? I asked. At that stage, search and rescue teams were still scouring the woods for Lilly and Jack and appeared to have hope that children would be found alive, end quote. Daniel is quoted again after saying she's going to blame everything on me so she doesn't get in trouble. Daniel says, I don't know, end quote, he said. Reporter says, quote, what he said struck me. It continued to perplex me as Greg and I sought answers over the following weeks, gathering information about the neighbors, friends, family members, elected officials, and police. We learn that behind the scenes, people's concerns for the children's welfare had already raised red flags, end quote. The first time he was asked, he more or less said that the media was shady. But again, he didn't deny it. Daniel, I know you like using this term now because I called you a little weasel.
So I think what happens is while I'm playing the video, it freezes me as well. But I know that he was also having a lot of difficulty on that live as well. So I was going to play another little segment. But this is a perfect example of deflection. And Justin's right. There's a reason why Daniel will only go on certain people's lives. Because Daniel, if you're watching, why did you say that Malaya was going to blame everything on you so that she didn't get in trouble? And then, if he didn't answer on my channel, I would ask it again and again and again until he actually answered the question. At no point was he asked, what's Cheryl and Cindy and Malaya telling shenanigans? That wasn't the question. Let me get the other timestamp. So why do you think, everyone in chat, that he answered the question in that way? Darvo, yep. Deny, attack, reverse victim, offender roles. That actually seems to be a regular occurrence in this case. Not only by Daniel, but by others too. He often likes to get ahead of things. He could be completely innocent. But what a strange statement to make only 2 days after the children disappeared and haven't been located, when there was still hope that they would be found in the woods. So we know that he spent all day Friday out in the woods, came back at 9 p.m. and crashed and went to bed. Then he was gone all day Saturday. In fact, multiple members of the family that came back to search that day said he was not around. So where was he? Well, we know it's likely he was having a little clandestine meeting with Darren Geddes down the road. The same Darren Geddes that didn't know Jack or Lily or Daniel or Janie. Right. One moment, please. All right, it's coming up. Perfect. Listen to this. So he doesn't watch YouTube. He doesn't know what's going on in YouTube, but he sure does know some stuff. And he gets great joy out of it. Let's have a little listen.
And I believe that is exactly what you are. A little wet math weasel. And you call other people that now. But that's exactly what you are. You're a weasel.
The nickname someone came up with, I'm not going to say who, what is it, the Scissor Sisters or something?
Oh, Scissor Sisters? Oh, I mean, that's the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah, that's what a YouTuber calls them, is the Scissor Sisters.
Yeah, so that side of it, I don't know honestly anything about. I don't know.
No, I got a laugh out of that,
like,
because,
but just in general about what she's saying, or how much she's been talking to Malaya and stuff like that.
Well, she says that she talks to them and she went out searching with them, and it's
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the question goes, Daniel, did you say this to the reporter? He goes from talking about major crimes to shenanigans to Scissor Sisters. I shit you not. You heard it with your own ears, people. Major crimes, shenanigans, Scissor Sisters. You can't make it up.
So at the end of the day, though, is that from what you're gathering by even?
Yeah, that's what I gather from
is that
shenanigans. We're talking about her, and she's gonna hear this tomorrow, and I just hope that neither of us get attacked for just giving our perspective and opinion on the situation.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd have to actually give a shit if that was the case. I'm not here to sit here and thank you. Oh my god! Until at the end of about an hour thoughts, the time a little at our shit. But at the end of the day, trying to be that person that's supporting, talking for her, because she's has it when
get to the next question.
Or I were imagine
and what I think we all wish that Malaya would do the right thing afterwards.
Okay. Rent-free, Daniel. You little pervert. Don't watch YouTube. Sure know a lot about what's going online for not watching YouTube. So this is one of my favorite parts, because Justin is kind of epic with his commentary and songs. So we're going to play a few more minutes of this. And I would just like to thank Justin for coming up with a epic lyrical. I don't even know what to say. Oh yes, Damien. The song.
He put his hand on my shoulder after the administration of the polygraph.
Put your legs on my shoulders.
They usually leave the room, right? and they can analyze the data, and then they come back because everything's done electronically, right? And you have to remember too, they're looking for every aspect, watching you on the camera to see if your behaviors change, or your body language. They're doing everything, right?
Right.
And because these guys are professionals, they know when something's not right, or when they lie. I mean, when someone lies, or something seems off from your normal characteristics that you displayed during the previous one, or because investigators are always watching in the background on the cameras. And after that, he left the room. He comes back, and they said we had a conversation, and he said to me, he said, Daniel,
very interesting up
what do you think happened?
Put your legs on my shoulders.
They usually
put your legs on my shoulders.
One more time.
They usually
put your legs on my shoulders.
They usually
That, Daniel, is what your cellmates will be saying to you while you're dreaming of Scissor Sisters. One more time for good luck.
Put your legs on my shoulders.
They usually leave the room, right? And they can analyze the data, and then they come back because everything's done electronically, right?
Right? Right, now that I've got that out of my system. That song was stuck in my head for a whole day. I had to share it. Maybe if you're lucky, you and Darren will be cellmates. What do they call men that scissor? Scissor brothers? Answer me in the chat, please. Inquiring minds want to know. Someone out there knows. I'm very sure that the polygraph examiner put his hand on his shoulders. Maybe he put both hands on his shoulders and told him to bend over. But it's likely that they were stroking his ego in order to make him feel comfortable. Nay. So yeah, Daniel had a lot to say. A lot of it was a whole lot of shenanigans. And he likes to dance around the questions. Good job, you passed. 2 guys in jail are called nut jobs. Now, everyone deserves love. And it must be very lonely when you're behind bars 23 out of 24 hours a day. We listen. We don't judge. In Janie's first RCMP statement per the documents, she openly told RCMP she didn't understand why Daniel drove so far up the road. Interesting. Yeah. I just don't know what to make of all of this. There's only certain people that have come out with absolute bullshit with regards to this case. And there's only certain people that have pushed it out there. So a lot of people want to try to push this massive conspiracy that like 6, 8, 10 people were involved. We've got Anita pushing that. We've had Darren pushing that. I mean, Daniel was one of the first ones that pointed the finger at Cindy. She got here only 12 minutes after the RCMP arrived. Well, that's kind of strange because the RCMP arrived at 10:21 and Cindy didn't get there until 12:30. So there's clearly a problem with his time. We can put that down to perhaps mathematics. We could also put it down to a trauma response. We could also put it down to fibbing. Frotting is what it's called. Thank you, Cry Vicious. Did you have to Google that? Because I refused to type that into Google and ask. Time flies when you're tripping balls. It does, Mr. Hemi. I can't say I can remember too much from tripping balls myself, but it's not been in this lifetime, I gotta say. So why do you think he was so adamant about not answering that question and about bringing in Darren to help fix things? You just have to ask yourself, what are they trying to hide? Are they trying to hide something? Oh, don't use my name in vain. Don't you know that's one of my new nicknames, the teabagger? I prefer Flappuccino. Whatever. I feel like Flappuccino is more apropos. But what do I know? Maybe it's another one of Daniel's fantasies. Nay. Maybe, no, I won't say it. I said I would try to behave this evening. So I think we've touched on quite a bit of Darren and Daniel. Couple things I wanted to touch on, other things I wanted to touch on. Oh dear. Let me bring them up for you. Right. Your boyfriend Googled it for you. Oh dear. Okay, so who remembers Mad Dog McCammon saying that they were trying to investigate this case of missing children while considering People's Charter of Rights, the Canadian Charters of Rights and Freedoms. So Ginger's mom graciously sent me some information about how and why and what they would need to consider. So the Major Crimes Unit would need to consider while investigating this case. So the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms protects individuals during emergency investigations by balancing urgent public safety needs with strict legal limits on police power. While emergencies expand what police can do in the moment, the Charter ensures these actions face rigorous court scrutiny afterward. The call to 911 for the children wandering off was an emergency situation, not a criminal investigation with warrants. That's important to remember. I know that people will want to condemn the RCMP by not treating the home as a crime scene, but in reality, this was not reported as a crime, which we have mentioned before. So there were protocols that had to be followed for an emergency call. The RCMP were limited in what they could do. They also had to protect the charter rights of people on the property. So protection against unreasonable search and seizure, Section 8, extingent circumstances rule. So police can enter private property without a warrant during emergencies to prevent bodily harm or death. Plain view doctrine, which some of you may or may not be familiar with, is officers can only seize evidence found out in the open while actively addressing the specific emergency. So that also goes for when, say, for example, you are pulled over by an RCMP. If you have things in plain view, you're going down. Strict scope limits. So searching drawers or small containers for a missing person violates Section 8 if a human cannot fit inside. So they're not going to be looking in Daniel's little special box or in little holes in the wall for missing children because the children wouldn't be in there. Now, if there were things that were in plain sight, that would be different. However, let's continue. Retroactive judicial scrutiny. So courts review emergency searches afterwards to ensure the immediate threat to life was real and verified. So when Daniel said that they would have arrested him if they found drugs, that's not entirely accurate. So prioritizing of life safety. So the primary objective during a missing child investigation is the immediate safety and location of the child or children. The RCMP will routinely deprioritize minor nonviolent offenses, such as simple drug possession, if pursuing them compromises a lead, alienates a crucial witness, or delays finding the child. The public interest test. So this is also something that they would consider. So under Canadian prosecution guidelines, laying charges requires both a reasonable prospect of conviction and a determination that prosecution serves the public interest. So charging a key witness or a grieving family member with a minor drug offense during a critical safety crisis is generally deemed contrary to public interest. So basically, they weren't going to arrest Daniel for mathematics without considering the impact on the overall case, right? Now, would he likely cooperate with the police if he was done for a simple possession? Not likely. Now, the Good Samaritan Drug Overdose Act, this was brought in, funnily enough, which isn't funny, after the children's disappearance. So I found that interesting as well. So the Good Samaritan Drug Overdose Act is basically if someone, including a child, happens to overdose on drugs, people would not be charged with simple possession if they called for backup or for an ambulance. So if the missing child case involves a medical emergency or an overdose where emergency services were called, this federal act provides legal protection. It strictly prohibits police from charging anyone at the scene with simple drug possession. So this came into effect after the children went missing. If the RCMP discovers illegal substances while executing a search warrant specifically designed to locate the missing child or children, the validity of a subsequent judge charge depends heavily on how the evidence was found, such as plain view. Under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, if police strayed from their primary authorized objective, finding the child or children, to look for drugs without a separate warrant, the drug evidence could be deemed inadmissible in court. So I think that explains why Daniel wasn't arrested or charged with any other offenses. I am not entirely sure that there would have been much found at the property anyhow, based on the fact that there was partying going on with Daniel in a vehicle that was coming and going from the property all night, allegedly, according to witnesses and according to Darren. What Darren meant by partying, I'm not sure. Perhaps you can send me another private message, Darren, and elaborate. I did not hear that. And so they should. If you got injured at work, you'd get compensation. If you slipped over in a grocery store due to a wet floor, you'd get compensation. If someone hit you with their car and they were insured, you would get compensation. So why the hell shouldn't a woman who's taken a beating off a man get compensation? Just saying. Just saying. Yeah. I don't know what that chatter is about, but apparently there is something going on in that guy's prefrontal cortex. Yeah, I know. New law in federal court for coercive control was on CTV News today. Yes. So I thought it was interesting that CTV today actually put out a basically like a recap on the Jack and Lilly Sullivan case. And I wanted to touch a bit on that because it goes right back to the beginning of the case and how it's evolved over time. So let me touch on that. And hopefully it doesn't freeze again. History. Let me scroll back through all my awesome tunes I was listening to. Yeah. Could have been a party with all the voices in his head. Speculation only. You know, there was a very dark spirit apparently in the woods before the children disappeared, according to Janie. There was a dark figure wearing a top hat just before the children disappeared. And when Malaya had a member of the First Nations over there when they were doing the prayer, they did a smudging ceremony. And wouldn't you know, the dark spirit never came back. Now, if that doesn't scream mathematician, I don't know what does.
Is now in its third week. Nova Scotia RCMP say they are determining their next steps after another ground and air search for 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan took place over the weekend. The siblings went missing from their Lansdowne Station home May 2nd, and police say they have found zero trace of what happened to these two children. For more on where the investigation stands this morning, we're joined from Midland, Ontario by Chris Lewis, CTV public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner. Good morning.
Good morning.
We'll remember the press conference where the police called off a portion of their search for Lilly and Jack on Sunday evening. What could that indicate where this investigation stands as of today?
Well, when they made that call to downscale the search, at that point they made statements that they didn't believe the children would still be alive, which was somewhat concerning because it hadn't been that long at that point. Of course, it has gone much longer now. They are continuing some searching, but it appears that they're weighing more heavily on the investigative side of this, which of course they're not going to really talk about, given the trying to protect the integrity of that investigation. But they seem to be focusing more on that than actually trying to recover the children, which of course I'm sure they still will, because regardless of whether they're alive or dead at this point, it's awful to even say that, they certainly do want to recover the remains of the kids.
You know, people are going back over this timeline, you know, as our police as part of their investigation. Lilly and Jack were first reported missing May the 2nd, and then a nonstop multi-agency search began on the very same day. Then on May 7th, police scaled back that investigation and added that the chances of the children being alive, as you just mentioned, were very low. Then after that, May 17th and 18th, there's this renewed ground and air search of Lansdowne Station. That didn't find any evidence. Tell us what that means about the scope of this investigation. Is it narrowing in on something?
I think what it means really is that the RCMP know more about this than we do, which is totally understandable. The RCMP are good at this sort of thing. I mean, they've been conducting huge searches and conducting major investigations for a long, long time. So we have to rely on them and the fact that they know what they're doing. They're led by their investigation. I'm sure they're following evidence and deciding where to go and what to do based on that, as well as tips and other things that they're receiving. But, the speculation in the community and on social media is just crazy, pointing fingers at all sorts of people, which may have had nothing to do with
this particular part of the snapshot is actually from very early on in the investigation. It was from mid-May going into June. And the RCMP knew then that they were looking at certain individuals. Janie talks to a lot of people behind the scenes, and this is something that she has said recently. Yeah. Hey, Paris, good to see you a little bit. Yeah. No, it wasn't on a YouTube channel. You heard it here first. Yeah. So what do you say to that? Thank you, Paris. So this is what I mean. So everyone, a lot of online or mainstream media reporters, politicians, a lot of people have put a lot of criticism on social media and for the wild speculation and rumors. But what they're forgetting is it's actually family members, extended family members, that have created the wild online speculation. And us YouTubers are simply repeating what these members have said. Now, let's not forget that Darren first came on board as Malaya's family. He neglected to mention all of his connections to the Martells and Mackenzies. And he was the one who pointed the finger at Cindy, at Cheryl, at Haley, at Hayden, at a First Nations intervention, and now it was Malaya's family that brought them to Boston. But he's also said that it was drug traffickers. He's also said that it was pedophile confidential informants. And he's also said, oh, I can't remember now, but there's been a lot. Now, why would someone want to push all of those stories? I bet you when he turns up at the RCMP to give over his information, they all like scatter. They let the new guy take over. No, not him again. Oh dear. Oh yeah, Kentith was also pushing these narratives. Kentwood, the Brangelina of Pictou County. Well, Brangelina broke up. We need to find a new one. Wild Goose Chase, indeed. And who would that benefit? Because it doesn't benefit Jack and Lily, does it? It benefits whoever is actually responsible for their disappearance by muddying the water. I think, actually, we should listen to that audio clip one more time as a reminder. I'm going to take this off the screen. I wanted to cover some, yeah, Ever the diplomat. He was more polite to me than others, so I'll give him that. Well, Coldburn, I would say she doesn't know what happened with Jack and Lily, but she is trying her utmost to try to stay positive. There isn't a parent out there of missing children who haven't been found that wants to believe that their children are no longer with us without proof. And I have to say, I think that parents hang on to hope until they're given a reason not to. I can't say I blame someone for that. But I'm going to find that so that we can listen to it. One moment, please. Yeah, that's great. All right. Derwood. Yes. One second. Okay. Oh, Lord. Okay, so it's in video library. And I want to drag it over to there. All right. I think it is uploading. Bear with me. I hate trying to do this. What a pain in my butt. You might get lucky, Darren. Won't play it again. Ah, bastard. All right. Every time I try to bring that up, I just keep bringing up other recordings that I'm not going to play on here, which is super annoying. Yeah. Okay. Forget it then. Okay. Will this work? Last but not least. No sound, right? All right. Let me try to figure that out, why it's not working. I'm just... Okay. I don't know why it's not working. Super annoying. Yeah. I guess the gods don't want you to hear Darren's beautiful voice. You can hear me, but not Darren. I'll have to play it a different way then. And then I'm going to go over to something else. But I think it's just nice to go over like old material sometimes and just remind people what has gone on in this case. Thank you very much. Some people appreciate my perspective. There's only one God. Well, not if you agree. All right, files. Derwood. All right. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I was just at my computer working on screenshots.
I would appreciate it
Mm-hmm.
if you have a pen and paper.
Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
1 second, let me just. I got paper. I know I got paper. But in this case, he took off. Yeah. He, on the other hand, when I look into his eyes, I like falls in line with the messages to Belinda. Chances are that this is a Daniel involvement versus a hidden this. And I was looking at it two ways. The hidden
We'll see you later on today after it's off work. I want to verify something.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And,
There we go.
Normal that they hand you a phone. Yes, yes.
But he is smiling.
You know.
No fucking genius, but he's mildly intelligent.
Uh-huh. Like he would probably.
I'm only mildly intelligent myself, so
well, he would probably know to leave his cell phone at home, right? I mean, if somebody watches enough true crime or has any two brains what about them, they would know that you do not take your tracking device with you unless.
And by the way, the cops are still on him.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I believe the cops are on the same premise
Yes.
I believe the cops know he did it.
Yep.
But they need the bodies for
Yeah.
the kids to lay charges.
Yeah.
Murder until you have the body.
Yeah. That's why they gave him guarantee you, Darren, that's why they gave him a phone. That's not normal that they hand you a phone when they take yours. Usually, like most times, you have to actually, wait till you get your phone back. We see this in. Yeah, they gave him a phone to use, right? So I'm thinking that they gave him a phone right away just to fucking, again, if he wants to hang himself, hang himself. Because,
But another thing, and I've been a watch for, I think along the line at times over the last couple of days, Daniel was almost thinking of trying to frame me into this. I think he's trying to make it look like I was the guy that picked the kids up at the side of the road. He's given me information.
Yeah.
Weird information that sort of, if somebody else listened to that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one YouTuber already went that direction. That meetings.
Oh yeah. Right.
I mean, she literally blamed me. She literally said right on her program that she was calling the cops. She was sure I was something.
Well,
she wrote it.
So, what do you guys think Darren would have said? Or what conversations would Daniel and Darren would have had that would have made it look like, he was the one that picked up the kids at the side of the road? How is it possible, do you think, I mean, you have to have something in order to frame someone, right? You got to have, whether it's false or not, evidence to point the finger at someone. You have to have something to frame them with, right? I mean, of all the people that Daniel could frame, he'd frame Darren. Seems strange. You'd think he'd want to frame Malaya or anyone else. I wonder if when he was seen on the Saturday with Daniel, whether the children had already been picked up at the side of the road or not. Perhaps, Darren, you can send me another private message. Let me know. Where were you on this Saturday after the children disappeared? May the 3rd? What were you doing? Who were you with? Can I see your bank statements to prove where you were? Who did you call that morning of May the 3rd? Who did you talk to that morning? Hmm? Daniel, what do you say to that information about you and Darren being seen on May the 3rd together? Hit me up. PM me. I'm keen to know. I'm sure the RCMP are keen to know too, whether this information is accurate. So how did that chat go as well, Daniel? I'm wondering, how you said the RCMP came to your house so that you could make a statement about tint? As far as I know, Tint's still out there flying his drone and hasn't been arrested yet for harassment. Was that the truth, Daniel? Was it? Because I heard something different. Yeah. When did he change vehicles with his son? What happened to his truck that blew up? Why did he have to go stay with a friend in Spring Hill? Who was that friend in Spring Hill of Darren's? Hmm. So many questions, so little time. Another question I had was, why was Kent so worried about the RCMP doing the special operation in Darren's backyard? And whether or not RCMP had a warrant? Poor Kent. Oh, Tint's not that afraid. I heard him on Hidden in the Fog saying that he didn't want to go out to Lansdowne on his own because he was scared. He wanted me to go with him. Guess I'm tougher than he is. Don't know what I'm going to do. I do have some bear spray, though. I already have a searching partner. No offense, Tint, but maybe I will use this opportunity to lead into some other information. So I was going to touch on some of the recent searches. However, I'm still very much in the learning process. So I don't feel entirely comfortable to go over it yet. However, there were some key areas that were searched recently. And one of the images I wanted to show, which I've got to send. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but there are some very qualified drone flyers out there. I'm not one of them. I'm qualified, but not very qualified. So perhaps you may see the difference between certain images. Now, weirdos in the vertical chat, people, Ginger. Someone hopes that I find Christ and that I'm saved from my demons. No guarantees. I have been baptized as a Roman Catholic, but I have not confessed in 25 years. And if I had to, I'd be there a while. Probably be there till I'm dead. Pardon me while I cleanse my demons. Not as good as you. I try immensely, though. I can stand there and look like I know what I'm doing. But I'll take it as a compliment coming from you. All right, remove. Okay. Facebook. One moment. It's to match my mood. All right. Come on, Facebook. Update so I can get my own dang message. Warning people, do not message me on Facebook at this moment, or you'll be on the next shitty ass video. I'm going to show the one from St. Andrew's Lake. Not the one that maps the bottom. I'm muted. Sorry. Okay, let's try to email it to myself then. I know. The devil took upon me and froze me in the screen. Oh, God. Let's try again. Frozen and no sound. Get it together. I'm trying. Jesus. Fuck. You try being up here with no, like, with your internet taking a shit every 5 minutes. Send a preacher. You know what? I think actually that it could be that friggin' Dark Omen that was over at Janie's. It's over here now. All right. Yeah. Damien, you talk about it because you are better at explaining things than me. I'm still learning. All right. Inbox. And when I go to another screen, it will probably freeze. So I'm aware. Hallelujah. Jesus Christ. Share image. I got there. I got it together, Sassy. I got it together. Now, hopefully, this will. All right. Now I've got to try to figure out how to make it full screen. Right. So I think this will be the easiest way for me to do it. So I can't make it any bigger on my screen because my screen is stupid. However, so this is the last mission that Damien did. I was there and assisted. So this is an area of interest, I would say. It is a pond/lake located next to St. Andrew's Church. So it was searched sort of by foot, so boots on the ground initially, but it's hard to get an idea of, you know, what could be in a lake when you're looking from the side. It is approximately waist deep, which was why it was one of those areas of interest. But if you look, you can see the bottom. You can see a tree log there. You can see stones. You can see the pebbles along the side. So it's very detailed. So this is the kind of quality images that are being provided to the RCMP. And I think, oh, I know, my laptop is not great, and when you look at it on a proper computer, it's even more detailed. So yeah, it still looks much better than a lot of the images that I've looked at, and rather than using Google Earth. Yeah. So one of them, share one of them. So this is very easily accessible off the road near St. Andrews. And when we first searched it, there was a well on site. You could lift the lid, look down inside. There was an old well closer to the road that you could look in. Yeah. Interesting. Within a short drive of Daniel Martel's trailer. No Rubbermaid totes. You would definitely be able to see that with the drone, for sure, 100%. I mean, you can see stones. So there's like how many did you say? 15,000 images that you've done so far, Damien? Around 15,000 of Lansdowne and surrounding areas. And there's and I mean, he's got pretty sophisticated software to go through the images, and you can pick out colors even. So if, for example, you're looking for a blue shirt, you can select a scope, or I guess a spectrum of blues, because obviously blue will fade over time if it's over, exposed to sunlight, etc. So it's very interesting, and not a lot can go undetected. Someone mentioned about totes. So totes have been found. Actually, many, many Rubbermaid totes have been found throughout the search. Most of them contained deer guts, though, and carcasses. Yes, so Damien does a great job at compiling information, and there has been a lot of area covered in the last months, I should say. And I would say there's a lot of different kind of searching that goes on behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. And I would say that the area is being saturated with searching. Every single area that's ever been mentioned in a chat, on a live, via email, any discussion at all, I would say has likely had a drone fly over it or boots on the ground searching it. And yes, all of the information gets sent to the RCMP. Yes, it is, Deborah. Yes, it is. Yeah, the amount of information and storage. I think Damien needs like a GoFundMe for memory sticks or memory cards, because the amount of information that needs to be processed and stored is astounding. Astounding. Thanks, Donna, for coming in. I'll see you next time. Why, thank you, Stevie. I appreciate you. Not everyone thinks I'm good, people. But I don't care about that. Hard drives. You need an entire server. Like, the ones that mine for Bitcoin? You need to get a room like that. I know, I'm just kidding. Everybody seems to be doing GoFundMes now. I was just, don't run with that, people. I'm sure you will. I'll be starting up a GoFundMe for my legal fees here soon. That wasn't a dig. That was actually half serious. Yeah. The RCMP said a couple of teams are helping them, didn't they? Yes. I would say that Please Bring Me Home is a huge contributor of information and coverage, search coverage for the RCMP. And it's a real shame that people try to discourage support for them. Any idea if where the train tracks that go over a stone culvert in Bible Hill was checked, where many railroad workers perished and remains said to be still there? The tracks have been thoroughly checked, and I mean, if the remains are still there, another Cheryl, they would likely be very deep under the ground, and I'm sure the cadaver dogs even still would have picked them up. But I believe that that culvert is down at the end of Lansdowne Road, heading towards Montreal Road. And yes, that area was thoroughly searched. Mr. Hemme, I'm not even going to answer that. I'm giving you the side eye. Yeah. It's all for show, Mr. Hemme, as I'm sure you'll become aware of very soon. Right. I think next week I would like to cover more on areas that have been searched and show you some more imaging. I need to gain a bit more knowledge. I'm still a little fledgling. So I think it's important as well for people to keep sending in information about where to search. If you have any suggestions, please put it in the chat. And if it hasn't been looked at already, I'm sure it could be added onto a list. However, I'm very confident that, as I mentioned before, any area that's ever been mentioned in this case has been looked at. Between the ground search and rescue, there are 5 separate searches, followed by the Please Bring Me Home searches, which are way more numerous than what people realize. A lot of area has been covered. I would be glad to have you come up. Are you available this evening, or shall we arrange that for next week? I think more, I think I'd like to have more things to be able to present on my laptop, and I don't know if my laptop is ideal. It would be better actually for you to be able to share the screen from yours, which is much better quality than mine. What's not a politically correct statement or language? What did he do? Did you remove it? Did I, or are you talking about the retainer? Next week. Okay. Just double checking. Words are open to interpretation, you know? Yeah, I've been working on it just for you. Ginger's good. Ginger's got it. This is more of a pond. It's next to St. Andrews. So it's like called the St. Andrews Pond. So it would be at the corner of Lairg and Montreal Road. And you would be heading north on Montreal Road. And it would be on your left-hand side heading towards New Glasgow, but not far past the church. Not far past the church at all. But don't ask me for directions. I'm still working on never eat shredded wheat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it actually has a name. It's just like it probably at some point may have been, you know, how the fire departments like to create ponds just for water resources and stuff. It could have been that. Yeah. All right. Fire ponds. Thank you, Fern. Thank you. I used to have a fire pond. Then the dam broke. Yes. Well, on that note, people, I was tempted to go over a bit of the argument that took place earlier. But it was very difficult to listen to. So I'm not sure I even can subject you all to it, but I mean, you want me to? I can probably go on for another 20 minutes. What do you think? Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to, if you want to be subjected to the discussion between Janie and Anita. Man, it was something. All right, it's fine. I'll be a good girl and listen. One moment. All right. Might as well before it gets taken down. Lord. Oh, look at that. I was going to say something really, but I won't. Because I'm nicer than some people. Some. All right, Mike Damon, Demon, whatever. Janie calls in. All right. My eye is starting to twitch already. I don't blame you, Deborah. Run for your life.
Magazine. 30 days in Benton County jail. I got to know.
totally ridiculous. You're sad telling a lot.
My house. Just say, maybe you should wash your box. This is disgusting, disgusting. I want to know why, when you saw Lily's black eye, you didn't say anything. Why Meadow couldn't walk, you didn't say anything. Why they had no food. I want to know why. That Earl had to come with food and treats. I want to know why, when Meadow was taken away and you knew she was at Cindy's, if you can come on here, you can find Cindy on the Facebook. Why didn't you say, where's my grandbaby? I want to send treats something. Tell me why you didn't reach out to me and say thank you for what you did. Tell me why you think it's okay that your son is lying. And I never said Malaya's innocent. Tell me why she's not innocent. Tell me what she did without screaming, without yelling. Talk nice, talk to Mike. Maybe today's the day that you want to tell the truth. You'll feel better. Your son will feel better. He's going to jail anyway. And what he's going to jail for, they're going to mop him off the floor. It's best that you come forward because eventually I know I've watched many things happen in life. The truth always comes out. The truth always comes to light. What's done in the dark comes to the light. Why are you here, Janie? Why chance are you here? Because both of you are involved.
Explore Core. Are you not going to ask again why Michelle Glasgow bought 2 new car seats for the children after they disappeared? I would like clarification on this. I've never heard that. Please elaborate. Please elaborate indeed. I'll wait. I actually asked Anita today if she took the kids. She didn't answer though. Welcome in, Patricia. Happy birthday to your dad. So did Cheryl Wozniak ask why Michelle Glasgow bought 2 new car seats for the children? I'm confused. Did I miss that question? I have never heard that in my life. I want to know where Share Cares is making such claim on other channels. I have never heard that, ever. But I'll tell you what, I will ask Malaya. The only thing that would make any sense to me would be that Michelle bought 2 car seats for Baby M, possibly. One for Malaya and one for the family she's staying with. That would make sense. Share Care said this on Sunny's channel tonight. Well, let me just send her a little message and ask her if she's not watching. She was in here earlier, but I'm gonna ask because I want to know. Cheryl W. Anita said it too. Well, You know, Anita's full of shit, so you can't believe anything she says. And she says about 10% truth. She is the rage bait queen. I will give her the tiniest. Do you remember when Michelle spoke on the 2 car seats she bought in the beginning for M? No, I do not remember that shared. I have never seen or heard that. What I do remember Michelle Glasgow saying was that Darren was a racist, bigot fool, and that they had nothing to do with the children's disappearance, and anyone who thought that was a racist, bigot fool. I do remember that. I've heard about the Cindy removing the 2 car seats. She didn't have 2 car seats. That was another Anita story. Yeah. Anita didn't come onto Cindy's property for nearly 3 weeks after the children went missing. Everything she said about the laundry being found, these coats or whatever the fuck she was saying, not true. She didn't raise her own children. They're all with their dads. She doesn't talk to her mother. No one in her family wants anything to do with her. What's a lie, Shan, Heather Warren? I've never seen you in here. What is a lie? Wade has blocked her and said she's crazy. Please elaborate, Heather, because I would like to know. Because if I'm saying something that's untrue, I will fix it. So Heather Warren wants to come in and say that's a lie and then not tell me what's a lie. I'm hoping that you mean that Michelle Glasgow buying the car seats is a lie. But it is possible that she did buy a car seat, but not for Jack and Lily. All right. I don't need to message Cheryl because she's already answered that. So repeat what I just said. I messaged and asked the person who would actually know. Who did you hear the car seat story from, Cheryl? I'm curious. Let me know.
It's been over a year.
Wait,
I'm here
give
for
me
the
a second.
sandwiches. Yeah.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay. I just missed the call from her.
Janie, please call back. I won't talk. I'll let you and Mike talk.
Hey, Janie.
Please don't scream
How
at
are
me.
you? How are you, Janie? What would you like to say? What would you like to ask Anita?
Can you tell her to just take her time and keep her mouth shut and let somebody talk?
You got the floor.
Okay, Anita, we're sick of your shit. And I think it's time that you just lay low and keep your mouth quiet, because what you're saying is totally ridiculous. You're sad telling a lot of lies, and you weren't here when it happened. And all you're getting is secondhand information from people here, there, everywhere else. Like, just because you know a lot, well, you don't know how.
Oh, don't do the scroll of death.
Half the shit that went on here. And it's about time that you start producing some receipts of what you're saying, because you're not. And it's getting time to keep it quiet. And we don't have to answer to you, Anita. You're not an RCMP officer. You're not a detective. You're not an analyzer. So why do we have to answer to you? Why do you need to know everything when you don't? Nobody needs to know anything unless we want to tell you. And we told you everything. What more do you need to know? Get off of Chance's back. He has nothing to do with this. Get off of Jordan's back. He has nothing to do with this. They were helping search for Jack and Lily. That was all. And whatever you heard is bullshit.
They were on the pipeline destroying evidence. You were raking in the driveway. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying.
I was breaking my driveway, my dear sweetheart, because I was planning on putting a pool in. And if I plan on doing that in my own property, that is my business.
Said there was no talk of a pool. You have no money for a pool. Bullshit. Bullshit. Tell the truth.
Mike control her. I will give her a chance to talk.
Okay.
When I am done.
Go ahead, Janie. Let her talk.
I have to shut you off because I can't hear you. Just hold on. I have to close your show out because I can't hear you.
Go ahead.
Just hold on. Okay, let me get you back up here. Okay. Now, you give me a chance to talk, Anita. You asked me why I was wrecking my driveway. I will tell you. I plan on putting a pool in for the kids. Yes, the kids, Jack, Lily, and the other two grandchildren. Now, just because I was raking doesn't mean I was putting it up that day. I can rake my yard whenever I feel like it. The kids are not dead. They are alive. Because I heard them Friday morning. When they left this property, they were alive. After that, I don't know what happened to them. Now, you can take that through any way you want. I don't have to explain it to you. The investigators got my statement. It's up to the investigators and the RCMP to find out what happened to those kids, not you. Okay? Now, if you got a question, I will answer your question. And then if I have a question, I will ask you. Now, if you want to talk to me, we will do it one at a time. If not, I will hang up. Is that all right with you, Anita and Mike?
Sure. I'm good with that.
Yes,
Okay.
I like that. Thank you. Janie, I thank you for being here.
Go ahead.
Did you hear what I said, Janie? It takes
Janie,
courage to come
I
here.
can barely hear you.
Okay, so let me ask one.
So, like Darren, Janie says when the children left Lansdowne, they were alive because she heard them that morning. Who are we talking about, Cheryl? Very likely. I can't wait to hear all about this video being chopped up and put into one of my admirers' channels. Rent free, baby. Shall we continue? Cheryl, I am just wondering what the heck is going on. Who were you to message when I'm live again? And who is going to jump in? I'm really actually confused here.
Question, Janie,
I
around,
thank you.
around,
I thank you for being here.
Go ahead.
Around what time did you rake? Around what time was that? Just to clarify.
I was raking in the evening, and the evening is around here. When I was raking was around 5:30 or so. It wasn't at night. Who would rake in the night? Why would I be raking at night? Can you see raking at night? So it was in the evening around 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Okay, I'll get back to this later. Anita, go ahead if you have questions. Otherwise, I'm going to take over.
Who, if the kids left the property alive, who picked them up?
Well, if I knew who picked them up, my Nita, my dear, I would tell you. Don't you think the kids would be found out by now if I knew where the kids were? I don't have an idea who picked the kids up. I heard them Friday morning, as I said, after they left here. I don't know where they are or what happened to them.
Why won't you say who you think?
Who I think it is? Well, you want to know who I think it is? To tell you the truth, it could have been aliens. It could have been anybody. As I said, Anita, I don't know who took the kids. If I knew who took the kids, I would tell you.
What a disgusting comment for Janie to make. Could have been aliens. Because that's just, you've pointed the finger at everyone else. I suppose why not point it at Martians in the sky? Maybe they came from Uranus.
You seem to know everything. You tell me who took the kids.
I don't know everything, Janie. That's why I asked you to come here.
You seem to know everything. You know everything, my dear. You know exactly.
No.
You tell so many. You tell so many
know
lies.
what Malaya said.
And I kept
I
you in
only
so
know what
many
Cindy
lies.
said. No lies. I think Clown Man or Cindy picked him up. You know who picked him up.
Okay,
You know what
that's what you
happened.
think. Then you know more than I do.
Janie,
See,
you
you know more than I do.
Janie, you were not putting a pool in. Malaya said she never heard of a pool there. Come on, Janie, do better.
Malaya didn't know that there was a quote pool there. How in the hell do you know? You haven't talked to Malaya, and you must have did a lot of catching up in a week since you were there. Did you? You must ask her a lot of questions. I got a lot of answers from her in a week.
Janie,
because
do you know that yesterday
you came
Cindy and Malaya wanted to talk to me? Janie, did you know
having
yesterday?
a very hard time hearing you guys.
Anita, wait. Let Janie finish. Let Janie say everything that she has to say. Go ahead, Janie. Please.
I'm having a hard time hearing you guys.
Okay. I will not talk. You will talk. And please go ahead and finish what you wanted to say.
No, I'm just saying, Anita, you got if you're going to be the famous detective you are, or the famous RCMP officer you are, you got to get your facts straight. Because when you say something, you turn around in a couple of days and you have everything twisted.
I wanted to
Because
touch
you got
on
so many lies. I don't know which lie to believe. You're lying. You know who picked up the kids. Malaya and Cindy wanted to make up with me yesterday. They wanted to talk to me. I don't want to talk to Malaya. I don't.
Well,
I want to talk to you.
Malaya and Cindy wanted to make up with you yesterday. Really? Interesting. Yes. So that is a faux pas, isn't it? You definitely do not fly over people's homes without asking permission. And I've never witnessed that, so. Well, Mr. Hemi, I heard you like to be horizontal. So I made a horizontal one and a vertical one. Algorithm, that's why.
Well,
You do know.
That's up to you.
Jamie, you hold the secret.
You don't want to talk to Malaya. I can't make Malaya talk to you. I can't make Malaya talk to me. But I'm telling you, Anita, you're getting yourself in over your head because the stuff you're saying is nothing but a lie.
Then tell me what's the truth.
Listen,
why were you raking the driveway with the holes?
No, you let me talk, Anita, because I've heard everything you had to say, and I'm going to correct you on some shit. Okay? Now, you said that the two people that came to your house, you say one was Jordan and one was Justin. 1 minute you're saying you never seen these people before, but you're saying one day that you could tell it was Justin by the way he moves his shoulders. The next time you're saying that you say it's Justin because he was long and lanky. Which is it?
What's Daniel saying in the back, Janie?
Do you know why the police went to Jordan's house? Sorry?
Wait, Anita, okay. Please, I need her statements, okay? We will handle all of this later. Janie, you said something that there was a bad decision that Malaya made. Could you clarify?
Yes. The bad decision Malaya was calling 911 when she knew what was going on.
Okay. How do you know that she knew what was going on?
Oh, come on, Mike, by her actions.
What stands out to you the most?
The most is no mother would act like that. And you know it. You're supposed to be the great analyzer. You would know the way she was acting.
I want to hear it from you.
No mother would act like that.
Because I wasn't there. I want to hear anything that I could.
You're right. You said it, Mike. You weren't here. You weren't here.
And I want you to fill in the blanks for us. Because, sometimes there are questions that we all have. You can look at my chat. People want answers. And if you say you think that Malaya had something to do with it, well, by the way she acted, that's not enough. You know what I mean? I want more. I want you to tell me what else have you heard, overheard? What makes you suspicious?
You want more? You want more? You want more answers? Well, okay. Anita's giving you answers. Do you believe everything she says?
My mind right now is so open because I'm so happy that you called me. And I know I didn't handle things well with you. And so I'm trying to shut up as much as possible because I want you to clarify what you can clarify. And
I'm trying. Mike, you don't understand. Everything we say, you guys tear it apart. And what I mean by you guys, I mean you and Anita and everybody else. You and Anita included. But you don't seem to be tearing her apart. All the stuff she's saying, I know is a bunch of lies. Because she wasn't here. Cindy wasn't here. Wade wasn't here. The only three people that know what happened on this property is me, Daniel, and Malaya. And if it didn't come directly from one of us, then it's not true.
And what I'm most interested in, Janie, is Thursday night. And nobody has... Go ahead.
I told you what happened Thursday night. I can't tell you anything more, Mike. I told you. I was out. They came home from town. I was in my trailer. I came out. Jack and Lily were playing beside the playhouse, looking for bugs and worms, or centipedes and worms. They played in the yard. I was raking. I was working on my fence. I went inside. They came inside. After that, I don't know what happened.
When was the fence?
In this trailer.
Go ahead.
I know they came in. They probably came in the house and went to bed. That's what Malaya and Daniel are saying. They went to bed. I heard them Friday morning. That's all I can tell you, Mike, is I heard them Friday morning. They were alive when they left here Friday morning.
When was the last time that you saw them on Thursday?
Thursday around 6 o'clock when I came in, around 5:30, 6 o'clock when I went into the house, when I was out there raking.
Did you hear anything afterwards?
No, I didn't hear anything after that because I went in the house and I went on Facebook.
What time do you go to... Okay, so what time do you normally go to sleep, if I may ask? Just in general.
I can go to bed anytime.
Well, I don't know if I can handle anymore and for one night. I've already been on for 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think I will, I mean, you're more than welcome to go over and have a listen, but I think what I'm going to do is allow Ginger to send me some timestamps like she is so kind and normally does. And we'll pick out some key parts. The problem is there's so much there. And a lot of it is just yelling and talking over each other. It gets worse. I'm still trying to figure out who is doing what and for what purpose. And I think it's quite clear that Anita is in this to rage bait people into basically having a meltdown. I mean, she's done it to Jordan. She did it to Chance. I have a recording of her doing it to Darren. There's so much to cover. Yes, Malaya calling 911 was a mistake. It's over something stupid. The children were alive when they left. So many things. So many things to go over. And so little time. So I think I'm going to love you and leave you on that note, guys, because like I said, it's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. I was only going to do 2 hours, but it's been a while and I had a lot to cover. So, yes, it is Longing Heart. So Ginger's mom and anyone else, if you think that if you've watched it and you want to send me some timestamps, that would be great to save me the time of having to watch and listen to it all. Because like I said, I did try to listen to a bit of it earlier, but it was not conducive to my brain. Hello, Odessa. How are you? I miss you. See you soon. Yeah, go back and replay Shy, but I'll try to be on again in a couple of days, see what's happening. But yeah, I apologize. There has been a lot going on, and I got to prioritize things. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. So I will love you and leave you. Have a good night, everyone. I'm going to play my old intro as an outro. And because it's been a while. So yeah, see you all on the flip side, y'all.
Got no faith, 'cause the sky